30th article of Proverbs, sections 21 to 22. There are 3 things that shake the earth, and even for that she cannot bear: a slave who becomes king, an idiot who lives in abundance.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It all depends on what time you listen to me, but it's time to wake up. Social networks are the new fashion to subscribe to. There is nothing worse on earth right now than not being connected, than not having seen the latest information that has hit the world, in the region, in the country, in the city. If you are not connected, you are an outcast, a backward, an elder, a small villager without culture and without hope. Didn't react to the latest news, but where were you? What were you doing when so and so made such statements? But what is social media really? Simple trading platforms, marketing machines, tools for world conquest. But what is the plan for the new world order behind the increasingly impeccable wall of social media? I am Ambassador Gabriela Mbala and I am delighted to welcome you today. Have a coffee, tea, or water and pay attention to the content of the video. Let's explore the subject from top to bottom, and above all, don't forget, despite everything, to like, comment, and share to raise awareness among the people around you and bring about change. More and more to those around me, I like to say that social networks are the fifth power. As a reminder, here are the powers known by the state. The executive power, which oversees the management of states, governments, and peoples. This is the prime power. The legislative power, which fixes the laws and determines the culture and the national morality of the people. It is the second power. Judicial power, which decides on the destiny of people in relation to their ability to live in accordance with the laws enacted for the common good. This is the third power. But if you notice, these 3 powers were set up like this because of their conceptual nature to influence people in democracy. These powers are fascinating and incredibly powerful to lead the destinies of the peoples of the earth in the various questions of everyday life such as economy, politics, culture, consumption, and many other subjects. But it was not enough, because very early in antiquity the hard media came into place to do what is called mass influence. What is hard media? It is a means of communication which makes it possible to share information with a more or less numerous community in order to communicate to it the same spirit and the same convictions as oneself. And why is this so important? Because with the conquest, the birth, the improvement of the living conditions over the centuries, the populations have increased. It is to such an extent that humans have gone from thousands of individuals to almost 10 billion in less than 3 millennia. It is enormous. But that is the whole point. The edicts and decrees read in the public square by the ancient citizens of the earth are improved in our era by the advent of radio and television, faxes and telegrams. In the 19th century, we could now influence thousands and millions of people living on the same territory through these channels. We could already see the signs of the consequence of public communication by national reactions around skin color, massive adherence to religions, massive struggles for communist or capitalist ideologies, and many other subjects. So you will agree with me that for a government in place, the urgency of communicating massively is no joke. And the whole place of this permanent reflection came into force from the beginnings of the new order traced by the 2 previous great wars. You want to win an election? You want to carry out a popular revenge against all for justice, to put pressure to pass a law. The media are therefore your friends. This then is the fourth power. But there you go, another but. People evolved and the Industrial Revolution gave way to the Scientific Revolution. Thus, we have gone from a simple need to consume few resources to a frenzied desire to consume more, to be richer, to be the ultimate owner of the earth, our planet. Thus, more and more use has been made of automating processes and data exchanges. Automation has opened the field of possibilities to us. In fact, since we mastered computers, we do both wonders and anything. With the fourth estate, consciousness shifted from an individual to a nation. We were already talking about a national conscience, the latter based on having the same feeling, the same impression of his country. This way of doing things was widely used in Nazi propaganda and in the Cold War. Nowadays, the human collective consciousness has evolved. It has moved to the universal global stage. We are in the product of globalization. And automation, internet speed are not to have in this new dynamic. Information travels at the speed of thought, at the speed of feelings and emotions. Even members of government are measured and judged by their reactions shown through tweets and posts on influential networks. And even the networks are said to be influential because of the number of the subscribers and the quality of the community. I will pass you the details of the types of social networks available you can use on Google. To have an increasingly large community, we must encourage content producers and therefore invest in buzz, fake news, pompous theories, and uncertain subjects combined with the subjunctive to leave a suspense. Thanks to what I have just explained, you are under the dome of the confusion linked to this system because it is now a system. But now that awareness is universal, the war in Ukraine has become the problem of Africa. The tensions in Yemen are the problem of Australia. If via the social networks a video of violence is shown, it is for the whole world. We can now give information almost as quickly as we conceive it, and therefore influence the masses with absolute speed. Let's do an experiment. Take a bottle of Coke and shake it as quickly as possible. Try shaking open again, especially shaking open. It will spring. This is the impact of the speed of transmission of information on the society of this century. We are in an incredible dizziness, an appalling situation. News comes from everywhere at the same time, and while you are still digesting, we give you another one. You will vomit. We drown you in a flood of more than 1.3 billion pieces of information a day, and they are relayed to you through thumbs up and hearts, keywords and hashtags. It's atrocious. And when I think that communication shapes the world, I leave it to you to figure out on your own why I call social networks the fifth power. Why am I saying this? Yes, it is a shock, but I'm really going to insist on it. Giving social media to the world to bind them globally for almost 20 years isn't the whole magic of the thing. No. The real magic behind all of this is when you give the masses causes and micro reason to open their mouths to say such hugely stupid things as the crater of an extinct volcano. When we give them a concept, a reason to be seen, and to create crowds around them, then we are in the accomplishment of the plan of the new world order. One can easily witness the emergence of the stupid. These people will get angry that women are marginalized, that men are macho, that children have to choose their gender if they want to, that hair is beautiful on the chest. You even have videos on how to sleep with more than 10 women at the same time and not get any STDs. Just paying and all that. Why? For the rest, for subscribers, likes, comments, interactions, but that's silly. It is really silly because while the stupid emerge to rule the earth, pearls are less highlighted, less valued by these same social networks. They proceed by the cancel culture that we have already seen in a video to refute the arguments of those who want to bring light. All this, why do you think? Quit simply because it is a dictatorship of stupidity, lack of reason, lack of morality. If the pious and the righteous want to preach to others, we put them at the bottom of the list. Then we put them in the docks using the same mass weapons to discredit them and make them look crazy. Abusive reporting of accounts, attack with hashtags. Networks like TikTok will position themselves to give the necessary video space to stupid people so that they can talk naively about subjects whose ins and outs they do not master, making the peers pass more to their community as backward, slouched beings in their beliefs, too conservative, too closed in prejudice. Do an experiment. Hit the subject of the New World Order in YouTube in your current language, and you will see that the videos which discredit this subject and pass it off as a conspiracy theory animated by a bunch of complexes and crazy. MBN is not in their top 10 serious topic, and yet we got this video SEO done right. Please again like this video and all the others as you will bring our work to life. Many of them make these bizarre videos to make people laugh or to claim things. Don't get carried away. Don't like these things without realizing it. We are going to talk about mind control later, and you'll understand. It is the word that made our world in the beginning, and it is still the word that does it and that shapes it via social network. But it has become too abundant, too accessible, and people say nonsense. Let me quote a contemporary. On the media and especially on social networks, speech is desecrated, speech is humiliated, speech degrades into chatter and slogan, whether among ordinary mortals, journalists, and politicians. That is why I know you will understand why I say in this part that all these people are very stupid, who do not pay attention to the value of the word quality. Otherwise, I will influence their way of deploying the words on a daily basis by prioritizing the quantity of information that we disseminate to occupy the fields of marketing and communication. With robots that return the same information dozens times, we neglect quality. These are the reasons that push people to try to return to human relations on the ground. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter will always be useful, provided you build quality relationship networks and no longer thousands of followers. And I hope that in this video you will understand it. The latest fad of people who don't understand how the New World Order works is to disconnect from the internet and say it out loud, including on the internet. All this to return to a kind of state of nature, but which one? I recommend moderation. The web is a place where you can do anything. Some don't bother without realizing that we are following them. So don't be stupid and follow important causes. That of the kingdom of heaven is the most important of all. But how weird. You young people can no longer concentrate at school. Peers harass you at school and carry what they have determined as your faults onto a class group and marginalize you. Wow, your parents may not know. You don't socialize with them. And you parents, in the morning, can't even notice the subtle difference in the look your children has in the morning at breakfast because of Facebook in your phone. You have the profile of your colleague who went on vacation to a place you will like. You spy, you gossip all day with your mouth and in your heart. looking at the makeup of the other, her husband, her shoe, her car on Instagram, and you who show your signs of wealth or poverty to move people, to rally them to your cause. All that is called being non-social. Humans have lost the ability to talk to each other and to say things frankly. They have lost the ability since Eden. But we'll talk about the kingdom of heaven's response later, and you'll like it. But our times have made it worse. I told you earlier that the content shown in social networks is for the whole planet, which means that the plan of the New World Order goes through the extreme dehumanization of man. Society is the masterful concept created by God to reflect on His will and applied it every day for eternity according to the concept of Eden. But since the fall, the concept of society has been abused. Because remember that society is first and foremost based on the family. I told you that the family is the smallest unit of social measurement in the kingdom of heaven. It is the colonial tool per excellence for the royal conquest machine of God Elohim. So the goal is to confuse and disorganize this small unit capable of great things, because by destructuring it at its base, we are sure to shift society and lead it towards an extraordinary common consciousness, having nothing to do with the original. If human beings have lived millennia without Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and the like, then why is it so hard to imagine a world with them? Social media just gives us the illusion of being bigger than we really are. It prevents you from working well, from investing in a cause with depth. We can no longer find the true value of things and people. Followers are just numbers to us. We always want more. We will not meet them, but without them, we are nothing. It must be understood that the arrival of digital is the result of research and effort, but also of a human need. We are billions of human beings to manage collective life, to administer the spaces we needed to develop these networking tools. Like a cyborg, points out Jean-Philippe Barry Gerard. Social networks have given us superhuman abilities, such as the ability to communicate to the other side of the world in a fraction of a second. Generation Z. Young people claim it more and more, but the interactions that forge the personality of the builders of the kingdom of God are constantly shaken up by the lowered heads of these people who are increasingly incapable of learning from nature, and therefore they are easily influenced by unnatural phenomena because their capacity of evaluation and natural observation has diminished considerably. The number of suicides is also increasing among young people because of social networks, and the reasons are just as strange as each other. Cyber harassment, feeling of not having value for anyone because we do not have enough subscribers, feeling of being inferior, of not counting for the word. So these are the shortcomings linked to this famous Generation Z. To feel that they exist, it is the under 40s who are outside in the demonstrations launched with hashtags on social networks. They also want to make their voices heard. They say, how sad is all this commotion? Because it is unnecessary distraction. The New World Order imposes itself more and succeeds in overthrowing you and impoverishing you in every sense of the word. Day by day, people settle scores with others on social media. It is super stupid, but we go to the person who has the most subscribers to ourselves. Oh wow, he is more valuable than the others. True friendship and true love are disappearing in favor of the virtual, and our friend Mark Zuckerberg is not helping matters with this transhumanist desire to plunge humans into the metaverse. The sooner we introduce young people to these technologies, the sooner we lose them to the evil causes of the New World Order or New Age. I know you weren't expecting that, but yes, social networks are the global Tower of Babel project. What is the Tower of Babel? It is the ancient symbol of the idea of men reaching out to God, meeting Him, and being delivered from the possibility of living under the fear of His Diluvian wrath once more. In those times, as men as all came from Noah and spoke the same language, had the same reasoning and the same thoughts and spirit because of the fact that they spoke the same language. God Elohim separated them to prevent the vanity of such a project does not prosper at the expense of the real motivation hidden between the existence of man, that of the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. Indeed, with this project of Babel, man simply wanted to establish his own kingdom and govern his destiny from start to finish. But the man of today forgets an important thing. It is the government of darkness which reigns on the ground. So, man, you are not managing anything, and only the gospel of the kingdom can give you access to true governance. But how does what I say relate to social media? Indeed, social networks have language tools, but the best way to communicate the same spirit to people is simply to impose a common language on them. I speak English, and I apologize to the English speakers, but you are not the center of the earth. Yes, because the New World Order gives the impression that whoever does not speak English is useless, backward, and villager of small consideration, cannot integrate into the current world, and it is true because it is a dictatorship of thought. What now makes being a person who speaks British or American English is hype. I'm not saying this badly, but I'm saying it in order to make you aware of a phenomenon of which we are already victims. Let's open our eyes. It is via social networks that the best content is broadcast in English, that the best data is accessible in this or that dominant language. So people are therefore waiting for the actions and reactions of the United States of America to adapt and spoil the world. I tell you this because it is to such an extent that Europeans complain about the social and cultural dependence on the USA and want to free themselves from it. The USA is the most openly evil country in the world. They advocate everything that is against nature, anything that is messy and degrading for humans. Blood-based film production is their core business, to teach violence to humans from an early age. So do you understand the meaning of my words when I tell you that social networks are the return of the Babel project? These platforms serve both as communication and work tools, entertainment, and ensure the free flow of information. Without them, the whole social organization has to be without. I agree with that. But when you look through your eyes at the influence of dictated democracies, you quickly realize that the plan for world government is really in motion. The planetary scale and the speed of use of social networks have transformed the rhythm of society, and speaking the same language is accelerating the process of merging minds. We are on very short time and very high frequencies, which modify attention and behaviors, and we must be careful. Let's pay attention to all this. Let me introduce the concept of the matrix. There is the white pill and the red pill. The white pill is for falling asleep and the red one is for waking up. Social networks are therefore the white pill, and the content of this pill, which is the content, is really the manifestation of generalized mental control. And yes, mind control used to take the form of LSD, but now the CIA guys have figured out how to generalize the effect of the white pill by bombarding us with multiple signals to break us down as a coherent and organized society according to natural values related to the kingdom of heaven. I guarantee you this is just the tip of the iceberg. Dig deep because this one video alone cannot uncover all the underside of mind control rampant by this perverse world government. In the same way as the billions of streaming or the billions of the crisis, the billions of social networks are enough to make you dizzy. Out of a world population which now has nearly 5 billion internet users, 4.48 billion are registered on a social network. There is no one who could have predicted 20 years ago that social networks will take such a large scale. We are still talking about 2 hours 24 minutes of daily use on average per individual, and since the human being from a cognitive point of view is good at solving problems, he has integrated these tools to solve the problems of life. And what are these problems according to life? Give Maslow's pyramid that I'm showing you here. This pyramid also represents what the bosses of social networks put forward to keep us captive to their social tools all day long. All this to force us mentally to serve all day and to consume, yes, because consumption is the dictatorship of capitalism. I offer you a new and ever more interesting thing every minute based on your preferences. There is no reason that after the 6th or 7th time, you should not be tempted to disburse the banknotes and make a purchase. This is the principle of consumption according to capitalism. And I have a scoop for you. The owners and founders of social networks are mostly oligarchs or minions of oligarchs. I give you some examples in monetary figures so that you understand what you are worth as a consumer. Facebook is all too aware of what each Facebooker brings in. Every US account bragged in over $226 to Facebook in 2021. The loyalty of Facebookers is a major issue for Mark Zuckerberg, and loyalty depends in particular on the quality of the content. And what did we say earlier about understanding the word quality? Just that this word is redefined by Mark Zuckerberg on the background of the good thinking of cancel culture and wokeism. He can only comply. He doesn't want to lose his government benefits. Evolution of the number of active tweeters each month tends to plateau. The same for the turnover, which causes a decline in Twitter profits. Google has just activated new algorithms called Core Updates, intended to make an even thinner selection in hashtag plus content mode in the ranking of our search results. In other words, you will read in one of its articles the sentence next. We suggest that you make sure that you offer the best possible content. This is what our algorithms seek to reward. We, the masses, are nothing but working money to spit. We are also the punching bags of the morbid superiority complex. We are just collateral damage. There are less than 1% on the earth. Yet they are the most powerful to bring the whole earth to its knees. Let's not let our habits be dictated by capitalism and its weapon, hyper-consumption. I finally give you the answer from the kingdom of heaven. It will be thrilling. Stay connected. What I like is the kingdom's response to this phenomenon. King Jesus came to build a human, collaborative, and participatory social network based on the belonging of people who share the same spirit, the same language, the language of the spirit, and the word of the spirit. He did this to reassure himself that we are once again the true weapon of massive kingdom conquest for the land. Join us, don't hesitate. The Lord has given us the mandate to speak, and we will speak until we die. This tool that they used and by which they believe to have us is an opportunity that God Elohim has prepared since the beginning of the world to spread the message of his kingdom. So let's not fall into the traps of the white pill and denounce until the end of earthly life the manipulations of the New World Order. I declare that you are no longer the purse of the powerful of this world. Discover the kingdom and learn to consume according to the kingdom by fasting from time to time and eating correctly according to the nutritional law of Eden. No, we will not return to Babel. The language of the Spirit of Elohim will be our share, will be our power. His word will be our influence and product of cultivation. I declare this upon your life and the lives of all awakened sons of God on earth. Influence is not a question of numbers. It is a question of the depth of the ideas that we defend. Always remember, go to our website and browse it. You will find all our references there, and if you wish, make a donation to us because that is also what advancing the kingdom of heaven. We are ambassadors mandated by King Elohim to be the voice of the kingdom, looking for a platform to deliver a message for the kingdom of heaven. Then contact us and you will be received by one of our representatives. May God remember you and may His reign affect you deeply. I will meet you at the home of the eagles, our home together. Bye bye. Amen.